G'day guys, this is Nick at Stridewise.com in Brooklyn, New York, and today I'm taking a look at these two buffalo leather bags from Kodiak Leather. That's a family-run business started in 2014 by Jared Morse, who was frustrated by the lack of reasonably priced rugged leather bags. If you've seen popular heritage bags like Saddleback and thought, shouldn't I be able to get a cool leather bag for less than 700 bucks? This might be the company for you. Although they are imperfect, with the reduction in price comes some concessions that certain purists might not love, but the price is right on these bags, and they're made of buffalo leather. So let's talk a little about the leather. This is buffalo, and that doesn't mean bison leather. It's water buffalo from Asia. So why buffalo leather? Well, the company claims that it's more breathable and resistant to damage from ripping, stretching, and excessive heat. Is it true? I mean, it really depends a lot on the thickness and the tannage of the leather to begin with. If you get like a saddleback bag, this leather here is like 6.5 millimeters thick. A pair of Thursday boots is under 2 millimeters, and those are both cowhide. As far as the tannage goes, buffalo is more likely than cowhide to be vegetable tanned, and veg tanned is typically more durable, but I think this is chrome tanned. I think there are only 2 products on their site that say they're vegetable tanned. For everything else, including these bags, it's not specified, so I think it's likely this leather is chrome tanned. Anyway, if someone says buffalo is stronger than cowhide, what I'm trying to say is you need to ask a few more questions about the thickness of it and the tannage that can be more important than what animal it comes from. What is cool and typically true of buffalo leather, and it's true here, is that the leather isn't stretched as much. So you see a lot of the pebbly natural state of the skin. So it looks more like you're carrying a piece of animal than is sometimes the case with cowhide, especially that is true on this particular leather you get on the Satchel. So that's the upside of these bags. They're made of buffalo and you can see the grain. I've got 2 of the bags here. Yeah, this is the Satchel in the antique brown and the Pilot bag in dark walnut. Both are available in the other leathers as well as the black one. This leather is obviously much plainer on the brown one, but they're both very waxy pull-up leathers, meaning they're so full of waxes and maybe oils as well, that it produces real color variation. Like, see if I fold the leather, it gets lighter. That's from the waxes moving around inside the leather. The pull-up is obviously a lot more aggressive on the antique brown one here though, which makes for a really rustic, rugged look. If you get the dark walnut, you're still gonna get pull-up, but it'll be a little bit easier to pull off in more formal environments. Price-wise, they're both 250 bucks. The Pilot bag carries about 3 liters more at 20 liters versus 17 liters for the Satchel, but the Satchel is better made. Let's take a closer look at why. So the reason I think the Satchel is the better made bag, or one of the reasons why I think it's the better made bag, is that unlike the Pilot bag, it's got rivets at many of the stress points. So you've got 2 on either side of the handle. On the closure buckles here at the front, the buckle on the pouch at the front of the bag too. The hooks, the D-rings on the side where you would attach the strap to, which I've got down here, that is not attached with rivets, but they are in a very durable, kind of like an X in a box stitching. I'm not sure what the name of that is, so it's still relatively durable. All the hardware is brass, and all the zippers, as you can see on the exterior pocket, are YKK, which is somewhere along the line became the gold standard for zippers. That's not to say there are no breakable parts or anything. The front pocket is actually secured with a magnet latch, but still, it's relatively tough. Inside, if you want to take a look, it's lined with nylon. It has 2 zippered pocket compartments, 2 main compartments, and a laptop sleeve. So that's your rundown of the Satchel. The Pilot bag is a lot busier. It's jam-packed with pockets. You've got a zippered compartment here on the back. You got a couple of magnet closure pockets on the front attached to this flap that comes with its own pocket on the front. There are some cinches on the side, and there are 2 compartments in here, each with a laptop sleeve, or a sleeve that could hold a laptop. And one of them has flaps for your wallet and your pens. So you get more room for the same price with the Pilot bag, but there are no rivets at all, which makes me like a little bit less optimistic for the bag's longevity. Like, they sell these as heirloom pieces, like you're gonna pass down, but it would have more longevity if it had rivets to help take some stress off. A lot of the edges aren't finished either, so like on the pockets here, or on the cinches on the side, that doesn't really matter as much as a lot of people think it does for the longevity, but the edges are not finished. It's just that not finishing all the edges can be seen along with the lack of rivets as a cost-cutting measure. The magnet clasps on the Pilot bag here as well don't really line up very well. It takes a lot of fiddling to get this to close properly, which is a complaint I've seen echoed on the site and a lot of the reviews, and they're very weak magnets as well. And finally, personally, I don't really like all the white stitching on this bag. It's a very individual thing here, but it's just like a bit too busy. I personally prefer darker stitching like you get in the Satchel, which is somehow both like more rugged and more finished, especially if you go with like a less pull-uppy leather like this one. So the pros and cons of these bags. Let's wrap it up. The pros are that the leather itself is pretty gorgeous. I think it looks great. It's super waxy. It has a ton of pull up to it. It'll age well. It'll last forever. And the fact that it's made from buffalo is extra cool. You get a lot of pockets. Well, you get a lot of pockets on the pilot bag anyway. Not that many on the simpler, kind of sleeker satchel. At $250, they're also pretty inexpensive, all things considered. For relatively nice leather, especially with the satchel, you've got rivets and everything, finished edges, so it's not a bad price. And like design-wise, it's very subjective, but I think the satchel has like a good balance of style and function. The cons, I think there are plenty of them. Like I don't love these bags. I don't like logos on my bags at all, first of all, so that's a downside. No rivets on the pilot bag either, and I don't think you can even make the argument that there are no rivets because they want like a dressier look, because all this white stitching is really not that dressy. The lining, the website calls it nylon on the satchel and canvas on the pilot bag. The liner is a bit of a concern. For starters, canvas is better because it's more durable. It won't rub away over time from like stuff getting in and out of the bag. Nylon is a bit more likely to tear away. The only thing holding it to the bag is the stitch on the rolled edge. Many prefer either double stitching or liner made from stronger material. And the liner is also kind of puffy. Canvas usually sits well, like flush against its backing. On this, you get puffy pockets of air and whatnot, so I think corners were cut on the lining. The magnets don't line up well on the flap on the pilot bag at all. It's very frustrating to close. The strap is too long on the satchel. I can't, like, I'm a 6 foot tall guy, and like on the shortest setting, it was still like really dangling down below my waist. I didn't love that so much. There's no back pocket on the satchel, or like other pockets on the front that are easy to access when you're on the go. Like if you need to quickly access something. The pilot bag is better in that regard. There's plenty of pockets on the outside, not so much on the satchel. Neither of them can easily be attached to the handles of rolling luggage, a feature that many people like in the bags. And lastly, people typically prefer leather goods like bags or jackets when they have as few panels of leather as possible. So if you look at like this saddleback bag or this cravat bag, on the back, they are like one long piece of leather. You see what I mean? And you can tell a leather jacket is cheap when it has stitching along the chest instead of being like one long piece of leather from shoulder to waist. You want as few panels of leather as you can get because, I mean, it looks cleaner and also gives it fewer places to tear. Both of these bags, you can see stitching running right down the middle of the bags. On the satchel, you see here in the back, there's also a couple other pieces broken up like along the edges and along the bottom of the front pocket as well. And on the pilot bag, not only are the back and the bottom bisected or like cut into more than one piece, but also on the front as well, you got 2 pieces of leather here, which you don't get that on the satchel. So not only does like multiple pieces of leather look a bit inelegant, but to the trained eye, it's a signifier of a cheaper bag. Like they're able to use more pieces of leather to put it together. That combined with the nylon lining, the lack of rivets and edge finishing on the pilot bag, it can't be strapped to a rolling suitcase. I think it's chrome tanned as well. It's not made in America either, by the way. They don't say on their website where it's made. They just say it's handcrafted by artisans worldwide. So are they great bags? No. But are they only $250 for buffalo leather bags? Yeah, and that's not too bad. If the bags were $500, I would be outraged. Here, the situation is more like, all right, these bags are $250, but they are not the best bags in the world. And they're made overseas, somewhere, you know, I don't know where. So basically what I'm saying is if you like the look of these bags, you're not getting ripped off. I'd rather they be $200 or less, but they often have discount codes going on their website for like fall or for Father's Day or whatever. So the price is acceptable, and especially the satchel. Like I quite like the satchel. I think it'll last a pretty long time as well. I wouldn't pay more than this because of all the faults that I mentioned. But you know, the price is okay, so the bags are okay. All right, those are my thoughts on Kodiak Leather. This is the satchel, this is the pilot bag. Links below if you want them. If not, totally fine. But hang around, subscribe if you haven't. I've got plenty more leather bag reviews and you know, jacket reviews and boot reviews and other kinds of leathery and heritage stuff coming up.